Well, if you would have seen from the time lapse there was some fun getting that alternator on. And if you think that's the wrong way of doing it, it's not. It's just that alternator has not been off the car for nearly 40,000 miles, and it's still good, it still produces charge. But as you saw, that is one tight fit. You will also have seen that we got the fuel injector rails on. I didn't want you to subject your ears to all the abuse that I was throwing at this. It just baffles me. You will have seen there that there was a little mistake. I crossed the wires down there, but I had to unclip the cable from the alternator to refeed it back in, because if you're going to do it right. There's a few last things. So we have now, if we get down here, we have got the cam position sensors all in place. We have started clipping, we'll clip the knock sensors in. We're getting the last of the cabling run through. I mean, there's stuff like this. May as well do this now, I'll show you. So I mean, there's all this kind of stuff, which is for the solenoids, which, to be quite frank, it looks really complicated, but the wiring is actually positioned for the part, so you know you can essentially just with a screwdriver probably help me out just so I can get this one on. So like all the wiring is run so that you can, oh hello, welcome back, wind got it, so that you can run all the cabling in. It's not really that complicated once you kind of know where everything goes. All I've got to do now is run the cabling down there for the oil level sensor, which that's going to be fun because that goes right under through some parts down there. We know that everything's bolted up tight. I mean, this will go on there. We're getting close, Pete. I'm just going to get, I'm trying to feed that wire down there so that we can just see where this one goes. Probably to something that we'll never see again, because that one probably just there. We know that one's going to go to the mass airflow meter or something like that. This will probably come into here. This will probably clip on to mass airflow meter somewhere. So there's not actually that much left to do now, apart from reinstall plastics, fill it with oil, change, you know, take the oil filter out, change the oil, all the bottom's done. Really, belts on, final bits of electric in, can put the mass airflow meter on. Yeah, I mean, once all this is kind of clipped in, then, you know, technically we're off. And she should fire. We can fire her up without the coolant first of all, so that we can, but you know, make sure that she runs and doesn't explode, which is kind of the key. Yeah, cracketh oneth, I believe that the old saying goes. So what I'm going to do is, this next bit's pretty boring. So what I'll do, you're going to come back, and the wiring underneath will be run to the oil level sensor. And I'll get the additional, do you know what, I forgot what I was going to say. We'll also get the additional pulley on down there for the AC, and then really it's more just a case of we can whack the belts on and that's ready to go. Whack the water pump belt, well, put the final bit of piping in, and then really we can put the water pump on, water pump pulley, pull the trigger. Well, we can't pull the trigger because I need to charge the battery, but we might jump it off the 5 Series, because the 5 Series has got enough grunt, and we'll go from there. So you're probably going to see me in 4, 3, 2, 1. Bit of a tea break. So where are we up to? We've got the lower pulley on, the other tension pulley here the other pulley underneath the alternator. So we're about ready to rack some belts on. So, oh no, I've got to put the water pump on. Water pump pulley. But that really is almost it, in all honesty. We just got to run the wiring for the, get the injector, the spark plugs, connect up the fuel, connect some of the breather pipes for the PCB system, and pretty much that's it. We're ready to pull the trigger once we can jump it off the battery, of course. So I'll put the belts on, we'll put that on the time lapse so that you can watch, and then pretty much delicious. Project's coming to an end. I've just got to plug in the back of the electrics around there, on the back of the planing, intake planing. Most of the wires are run safely, they're not going to get hot. Yeah, well, as Goon Squad would say, send it, let's see what happens. So, let's cut to a time lapse. So as you would have just seen, everything just went on quite easy actually. So, where are we? Whoop, let's make sure that you're not going to blow about a bit. So, ancillary belts on. So we've got the air conditioning belt, which is here. And then we've also got the ancillary belt, the V belt. So that's all in. We got our lead that runs down to the oil sump level sensor. We've bolted our little brackets on and got that in. The alternator's in. We've just got to put a little cable down here. So we'll put the PCB system on. There's a brand new part I've got, which is a brand new Febby part here, which goes back there and clamps on. It actually goes underneath here. Under it. I think it might just go up here somewhere, like that, and essentially clamps on in there, and in there. That can then go where it needs to go, which is somewhere over there, and then the PCB system goes in, and that is it. Engine that's prepared to fire. I've checked all the gasket to make sure that had gone in well, and it has. All the nuts, everything's been torqued down to spec, everything's been sealed up. We just got to run the final bit of electrics in once we do this, once I get some of the PCB system in, and that should be jump it. And that'll be it, guys. Project E53 is either going to go boom boom and work, and then it's a living engine again and it's very clean and you know everything about it, or it's going to leak like a sieve and I get to play with my other new toys. So we'll crack on and we'll update you when we're done. So for you it's going to be a few minutes, for me it'll be a few hours. So 3, 2, 1 and hey! So for you, it's going to seem like a few moments. It's not been a few moments. It's not been a few moments at all, as you can tell by the leak that I have sprung. So, where did we end up? Well, So as you would have seen from the last one, I said that's it, Project E53 was done. So it turned out Project E53 was far from done. So we hit a couple of snags. Got everything up and running, battery charged up, everything put back together, and then we went to find the key and nothing. So it turns out that the E53 B44 engines and the E50 4.4 litres especially have a small issue with no crank, no start, or crank and no start. Now it can either be something like a fuel pump relay, a failed fuel pump. There was a raft of options. So we tried jump starting the car, barely anything. So a little tip if you're working on something like this, if there's a bit of a suspected issue where your car's not starting, try and find the earth plug under the bonnet. So there'll be a big bolt where you can jump start a car. On most modern cars you can jump start a car without going to the battery if the battery's located somewhere else. They'll give you two jump points, an earth and a positive. So just take an earth, connect it to the engine, turn the trigger and see if it fires. That narrowed it down to either an alternator, battery or earth cable. So did the logical step. The battery was 7 years old, so went and got a new one. Put the new battery in, turned the key, still clicked. Put the earth cables on, turned the key, engine fired. So, but when the first time we put the new battery in and turned the key, it clicked a few times. So we thought then it's narrowing it down. Also, when I went to charge it up, the alternator wasn't charging, so it narrowed it down. Was it the alternator? So I checked all the fuses, front and rear, been through everything. Ended up re-pulling the engine apart to get the alternator out, to give it a good scrub down, clean, got everything out of it, re-scrubbed the point, put it all back together. And then realised there was no earth on the alternator. There's just a live and an actuator. So the earth was located somewhere else. So supposedly there was an earth that runs between the gearbox and the body. That must be on an M62 engine or 2001 previous, 2000 previous models, the M62 engines. There was no earth. So took it on myself today. So this is 2 days now that we spent trying to pull this apart and get it fixed. So no start, no start, no start. And eventually, turns out there was a power steering line leak. Very minor, don't know what's caused it. The lines don't seem ruptured, and doing some repairs. And then I found a bolt with an earth strap on. So on these cars, for future knowledge, for anyone out there who watches all the YouTube videos and everything about no cranks, no starts, there is an earth cable that runs between the AC compressor and the body on the front impact zone, right on the driver's side. It is a tiny cable, it's about that long, very well hidden. I must have undone the bolt and just tucked it down into the fittings, got that, bolted it back on, and this is what happened. So let's take you off here, let's go for a little walk. So let's go round here. Let's open the door and reach in and show you where we're up to. So, my 14-year-old car, 2004. Let's see. Now it looks like this. Oh, it's so shiny and new. So everything on this engine has been degreased. It has been cleaned, it has been scrubbed, it has had new filters put on, it's had new O-rings put on, it's had new gaskets put on. And as you all know, if you were watching the episode earlier, you will have known that we took the lower oil timing gasket off and put silicone on. Wow. So it turns out, after a bit of chugging and a bit of plying and a bit of prying, what we end up with is this. Whoa, suits you, sir. A perfect starting, running sweet. full powered, high flying BMW N62 B44 engine, sweet as a nut. So this is a little bit of a misconception. I'm going to clean this up. So this engine has fired before. We managed to jump start it and it has ran. I've checked it for leaks, we've checked it for all leaks, there's nothing going on in it at all. As you can see, there is no smoke. There is also now no smell of burning oil. There is no oil on anything. There's no power steering leaks. All the coolant's been topped up. We've run it to temperature. It's been around the block once or twice. The one thing I will note is that it was worth getting a code reader, even if it's a simple one. We were getting codes that were being thrown up for camshaft position sensors, which are back there. On this bank, on bank 2, it was nonsense. It was the fact that it wasn't pulling a correct earth. And also, what I will show you is, if you own a BMW, you have a jump point here and this live point here. You can actually take a multimeter reading from here, which will try and bring you closer so you can admire the readings. So if you see here, it says -0. So if we take these, we've got one here and one up here, you'll see that we are reading a 14.5 volt. Let's try and get it so that you can probably see the numbers. There we go. 14.50 volts. So the alternator is doing her job beautifully. Now there is going to be some weird noises for a while. It's normal on engines like this because they need to do the oil circulation. They need to get everything looped up again. Like I said, the alternator I did clean to within an inch of its life. So I'm sorry I didn't show you the bits of all the engine covers going back on and all the pipes, but that is really pipes. This has all been scrubbed. This is going to have a proper engine detail now. I'm going to run it for a few days because I want to make sure that we don't get any surprise leaks popping up. There's a couple of power steering lines that I think under load might be different, but that is it. Engine refresh complete. All the steering's fine. All the steering's been checked. The power steering lines, like I said, might need refreshing, but that's neither here nor there. New coolant's been put in. New air filter, new cabin filter, 8 new spark plugs. It's had new head gasket, camshaft cover gaskets, and cam cover gaskets. It's had new upper timing cover gaskets, a new lower timing cover gasket. It's also had new solenoid gaskets. If there's a rubber or a gasket on this engine, it has been replaced. Apart now the coolant lines haven't. I haven't replaced any of the coolant hoses. There's no leaks, there's no ruptures, nothing's breaking. But if we look in here, we'll see that everything is clean. Everything has been wiped. It's still a bit dusty because it has got 14 years of dirt on it. It's been scrubbed off in 12 weeks, but you can see there's a new water pump chugging away. You can see there. This is all dirty, but when I do the engine bay scrub, I'll clean all this. All this will be cleaned. Everything down there, I'll clean any excess oil like what's on there. That's old, that's nothing, that's possibly this going, but needs must. This needs a bit of a clean, but I'll pull all this out and do it again. You can see down there, there's a tiny bit of dirt. You can actually hear the cams breathing beautifully. Electric solenoids doing their job on the engine. I've even scrubbed all the radiator out, cleaned all this, so that's done. As I said, everything on the engine is done. So, all that leaves me to say is thank you for watching this series. I will be doing updates on this as we go along if there are any leaks or anything that needs tank. There's going to be stuff that we'll still need doing. This is a labour of love. It's not one for financial gain or for anything like that. This is a labour of love. So, Make sure that you follow me on my Facebook page, which is DP Mechanics. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram, DP_Mechanics. Twitter is DP_Mechanics. And YouTube as well. Just search for DP Space Mechanics. You'll find me. Well, you should know where I am because you're watching this. All that leaves me to say is thank you very much for watching, and on to the next project. What could that be? Peace.